Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the America Guns and Freedom Podcast with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. As always, this is just a conversation between me and my viewers. It's where you can ask me whatever question you want to ask me. So feel free, doesn't have to be gun related. It's also a place you can come and talk to other viewers. You know, it's a place you can come and have a little bit of a sense of community, talk amongst yourselves, build some friendships, whatever. Feel free to discuss whatever you want to discuss. You don't even got to pay attention to me. But if you'd like to, like I said, ask me whatever you want. You got a topic you want to know my opinion on, suggest that topic. Feel free. You can put it in the live chat. Just make sure you put at the Yankee Marshal in front of it. You can send it to me via my email at shootingleftofcenter@gmail.com, like it says right down here. And that way you can send pictures. It's free. It's easy. And we can do some show and tell. So feel free to do that. If you want to donate to the Pets and Vets Fund, get entries into the monthly silver bullet drawing, or get entries into the hopefully nightly knife drawing, you will have to use the YouTube super chat right now, because PayPal is set aside right now for Toy Guns for Tots. We're in our last 3 days. We got to try to earn as much as we can over the next 3 days. So go over there and donate if you haven't. Less than 1% of my viewership has participated. So I know there's a lot of you that hasn't. So if you can afford it, go over a couple bucks, $5, $10, $20, much as you want. I'm not going to tell you a limit. Well, don't give any more than you can afford. So unless you're wealthy, don't give a big jump, a big hunk of money. But there are some wealthy people in here, I think. Well off. I don't know about wealthy, but well off. But as I was saying, feel free to ask whatever you want and go over and donate Toy Guns for Tots if you haven't. Let me see here. I like to start the day by reading the names of people who have ordered merchandise so that I can say thank you to them. Let me get signed in over here so we can see who did. All right, we got, it says 2, but there's 3 here. We got Scott Nance. He ordered a Dalek shirt and a Glock Perfection shirt. The Kool-Aid Man Glock Perfection, Glock Kool-Aid shirt. Some people ask me, why don't I call it Glock Perfection? Because I don't want to, or the Glock Kool-Aid shirt. I don't want to draw attention from the Kool-Aid people. But thanks to him for buying merchandise, supporting our regular programs. Then we got Jason Thompson, who got a Be Kind to Animals or Else shirt, a Guns Don't Kill People, the Government Does, and a Humorous Godzilla shirt. That Humorous Godzilla shirt, that hasn't sold nearly like it should. That's a cool shirt where Godzilla is engaging in political reform. You know, he's ripped the top off the Congress and he's, radiating them all to death, which is about the only way we're going to reform Congress. So thanks to him, also supporting our regular programs today. Then we got Mikey D chimed in, and he got an entry into the 590 shotgun drawing because he donated to Toy Guns for Tots by buying one of the ornaments. So thanks to all 3 of those people for helping support the channel and the programs we run. Let's see here. Before we move on, I'd like to read the names of the people that have donated to Toy Guns for Tots today and say thank you to them. We haven't had many because it's moving slow, but we've had a few. Last few days. Well, the less than 1% that are going to donate have already donated. A lot of people have donated themselves out, but it's just there's 99% of the people who haven't done anything. So I'm appealing to those people. But today we got, what is today? The 28th. That's right. We got John Heasley yesterday, right after the chat, because he wanted in on the new grips. But we also got Lee Walker, Greg Holen, Lance Wolf, Brian Peterson, Adam Grassnickel, Donald Google, John M. Mandrick, and Paul Bidenbach. I don't think I wrote down Paul Bidenbach yet, so let me add him to the list, because did he do the grips giveaway? He did. Paul Bidenbach did the grip giveaway. So let's put him down. Paul Bidenbach. And yes, so he's on the list. And these are the people that actually got entries into the grip giveaway. By the way, the new grips are these. The Yosemite Sam, they're on Beretta 92, the old style Beretta 92s, not the new X's with the Vertec grip, the regular Beretta grip. Here's a better picture of them if you want to see them right there. That's what people are getting entries to now. If they go over to my website, to go over to my website, you got to go over to TYMPpistolproject.com. I'll show you here so you know what you're doing. There's the link right there. That's the link you have to use if you want to donate to get the grips. If you just want to donate, up here at the top, there's a place where you can donate there and get entries into the shotgun drawing. Then there's a place where you can buy merchandise if you want to buy merchandise. And I think the next 2 days, probably starting from this chat on, all merchandise sales are going to go to benefit Toy Guns for Tots. Just try to get the number up. So if you buy any merchandise over the next from now to the end of the program, you'll get entries into, no, you won't get entries. The money will go to Toy Guns for Tots. If you want entries into the drawing, you'll have to buy merch from the Toy Guns for Tots section. But all the profits will go to Toy Guns for Tots. But then, as I was saying, right below there's a place where you can get entered into the Yosemite Sam grips. If you donate $5, you get an entry. 10, you get 3 entries. 20, you get 7. And you also get your entry into the shotgun up here if you do 7. So feel free to do that. You can also just buy ordinary merch. You can become a Subscribe Star member, a Patreon member, apply for TYMPPP, or nominate a veteran for Handguns for Heroes. So feel free to do any of that over on my website, TYMPpistolproject.com. There is a link in the upper corner of this video. And while we're done with that, let's move on here and see if we got any questions coming in. If we got any questions coming in. Let's see here. DM Fowl says, I sent you an email, and I know I read it. Oh, I didn't read it out loud because you told me not to. You keep bothering me. I'm going to read it out loud. Johnny Mandrick says, like Yosemite Sam, just have no use for Beretta grips. Well, that's a shame. Everybody should have use for Beretta grips. And who don't have room for Beretta grips? That's pissing me off. Don't have no Berettas. Shame on you. Someone of your advanced years, you should have multiple Berettas by now. What are you waiting for? Zach, I answered that. He asked about the knife drawing he won. I gave him his options, and I think he responded over there. Gun website says, for them kids that don't get no toy guns yet, got no toy guns yet. Well, hopefully they will after Christmas if we get enough people together. That's amazing what 1% can do if 1% put their heads to it and are dedicated to it. George Powell, considering the maniac in the White House, a reminder to our troops to not follow unlawful orders isn't just appropriate. It should be on billboards across the nation. He's not leaving without bloodshed, period. The thing I worry about the troops right now is multiple international legal bodies have weighed in and saying the blowing up ships that haven't been accused of any crimes and you're not at war is war crimes or is crimes. So I'm not sure if that's going to be safe for all the soldiers that were involved in that, or if they ever file, like if the Hague ever files charges against Pete Hegseth, are they going to also, is the shit going to roll downhill to the gunners on the boats? Because, it does that because the code of conduct clearly states you don't follow unlawful orders, and firing on civilian boats without a declaration of war and without any evidence of crimes is probably going to be a crime. John Mandrick, and here's the thing, even if they are bringing drugs, that's not a death sentence. Even if you got caught, arrested, not a death sentence. So I'm not sure where the executive branch thinks they have the right to hand out death sentences to people, period. Much less people who haven't been tried or convicted of a crime. I don't think that's a very good precedent. And just saying, well, they're not American citizens, that don't matter. because they say lots of people aren't American citizens even when they are. So what do? Just got to start saying, hey, that guy's not an American citizen, and then shoot him in the face. And then if they find out later he was, up our bad. John M. Mandrick says, what do you think of a Mini 14 versus an AR-15 platform? I like Mini 14s better than AR-15s. Now, I know I'm in the minority there, but I like Mini 14s better than I do AR-15s, a lot better. But I'm not going to do something crazy and say they're better for anything. I don't think they're better than AR-15s. I just like them better. AR-15s is the more versatile, more customizable, more, just everything, more probably slightly more accurate. So I think they would win in most direct head-to-head competitions on most things, except for how they look and how they feel. Because I like and that would be subjective. I prefer the Mini 14. Nice wood stocks on it, just stainless, that nice. Officer Tater Hater chimed in and said, sent lots of emails this week. I know, I've been looking at them. Cops are now saying Izzo is suggesting it's okay to off cops. I say no, but like me, he does not feel bad for them earning the hate. I don't feel bad for them earning the hate either. All Acorn Lives Matters, he said. Hashtag, I did a shirt, All Acorn Lives Matter. So I support that fully. That's got us up on the super chats over here coming through on the YouTube super chat. Let me go over see if we got any more people's names to read who made donations. Well, let's save that towards the end. We'll do that at the end. Right now, we'll go to the emails. Once I run out of emails and questions, we'll do that. We got Donald Googly Goo who said, I got to share the screen here because he added a picture because he has to be a cunt and rub it in my face. Donald Google said, picked up this Python 2.5-inch with the bead blast matte finish that I've been wanting for a while. Local gun shop was having a 10% sale on all new and used firearms today. Oh, well, I'd like to have that because Colts, it even says Colts giving $100 rebate. So couldn't pass it up. Yeah, that saves you like $250. So this also means I can pass the savings on to Toy Guns for Tots. P.S. Hoping others will donate too. Time's running out. Google. It is running out. Time is running out. We're very close to time running out. It's one of those things I can't say I think we'll hit last year's total this year, and I can't say I think the money will go as far this year. But I'm going to say no matter what we do, we're doing more than most people. How many other people do something similar to this? How many other gun channels are out there donating all their earnings and getting their, begging their viewership to donate to a charity event, to something that benefits others other than instead of something that goes in their own pockets? And how many of their viewers are following through? That's only like 1% of mine, but still, how many of theirs are? How many of them even have the opportunity? But yeah, that's nice. I like the matte ones too. I don't know which one I like better. I've got a stainless. I got the polished one. Now I'm trying to decide between the matte black and the blued, the shiny blued one. For if that's what I choose for my Christmas gun. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I got time. It's my birthday soon, but it ain't Christmas yet. My birthday's in 9 days. So keeping fingers crossed for making it to my birthday. I think that was our only email today. I guess Phenomenal Snowman's not awake, or else we'd have a lot more questions. Let me get over here to the live chat. Let me see. Hold on. I didn't have it on live chat. I had it on fan funding. Let me put it back to live chat because I needed to read the super chats first because that's the way people are doing super chats. Edgar Cortez says, Yank, how is the Toy Guns for Tots fundraiser doing? Well, I just kind of covered that. Hopefully you heard me. I don't think we're going to meet what we made last year. We'd have to do like $500 a day over the next 3 days to get where we were last year. But, we'll do what we can, and we'll still do way more than most. And it's a hard year for people financially. So the fact we've done what we've done is kind of surprising. I just wish more people would do the minimum. You know what I mean? Instead of having more people do maximum that they can do, I'd rather just have more people do the minimum they can do. So, because who watching one of my videos during the day? Like say I put up a video tomorrow, it gets 10,000 views. Who watching that video couldn't afford to donate $1? What? Half of them maybe couldn't. But that's still 5,000 people that could afford to donate $1. But how many of them will? Not even 1% of them. So that's, maybe 1% of the half. So that tells you something about most people. Even when they can, they don't. And there's people who could do way more than the minimum, and they don't do nothing for anybody but themselves. And those people are sad. Those people make me sad for them. So I'm like, what kind of life is that? Maybe a lot of them don't have as much dark baggage in their background that I have that they need to make up for, just in case there is such thing as karma. Or, I don't want to be recreated as a dung beetle or something just because of stuff I did in my past. So I try to make up for it. But even if there's not, it's kind of like the question someone asked me the other day. Let's say you got a brain tumor, it's inoperable, and you know that if it grows another 2 millimeters, you're going to be a dead man. What do you do with your time you have left? Let's say you think I've got a year left. Do you spend that time doing as much as you can for others and trying to be as good a person as you can be and trying to help, like devoting all your resources to helping? Or do you live selfishly for the last year, saying, I'm going to do the things I want to do? Which kind of person are you? That's a question everybody should ask themselves. Which kind of person are you? I like to think I'm the former, that if I know I got a limited time and limited resources to do things, I'm going to do what I can while I can. Because I've been selfish. I've done selfish stuff my whole life, so I don't need to do it now. It's not like I'm just going to go travel and run up all my credit cards because I don't want to do that anyway. So might as well spend that time trying to build up as much good karma as possible. But that's a question everybody should ask themselves. Which one do you really think you'd do? And don't lie to yourself. You're not answering the question to anybody else. You're just answering it for yourself. So don't lie, because you can't fool yourself. A lot of people try to fool themselves, but they know. George Powell chimed in, says, I'm looking forward to the modern day Nuremberg trials. And yes, it was murder. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm afraid there's going to be a lot of soldiers that are open to prosecution because they were just following orders. And I don't think that's going to be awesome for some people. Because here's the thing. We haven't declared war. Those are civilian boats. They're not marked government boats or army boats or anything. Those are not even boats that are capable of making it to the U.S. So they haven't been accused. They've been accused by the administration, but not the individuals in the boats. They don't even know their names. So they've been accused of nothing. And they just kill them. And it's not even an offense that would be murderable. That's like just saying someone's jaywalking, so you put a bullet in their head. That's not a commiserate punishment for the crime. So that ain't going to go good for people in the long run. That ain't going to go good. It's very public, and and there's already, like most of the major legal bodies, international legal bodies have said, that's fucking murder. And that's not looking good on our troops when you're using our troops for that. And the one that when they had someone survive, well, if he's a drug runner, why wasn't he tried? He was immediately shipped back to a country that wouldn't ask any questions, would just lock him up and throw away the key. if he was someone who's really committing crimes, why wouldn't you pull them in, prosecute them, show, hey, you see these ships were blowing up? These are really the bad guys. They aren't doing that. So why are they not? Like I said, it's not going to end well for soldiers. The people like Pete Hegseth and Trump, they'll get away with it. They're rich, they're powerful. They'll just be like, well, I'll just never leave the country again. And ain't no local justice that's going to come after me because I'm rich and I'm connected. But the soldiers, they're likely, if they get charged with crimes for Nuremberg trials, basically, they'll be brought up in military courts. So they won't get away with it. So that's the part I worry about. All right, we have answered all the emails and the super chats. Let's get over here. Is someone being dismembered in the background? No, that was my CNC machine going. I made a test engraving in this little piece right here to see about embedding the Bigfoots. And there you go. He fits just fine. See? Ba-bum. Because the next ones are going to be Bigfoot grips. Haven't decided if it's going to be CZ75 grips or Browning high power grips. I haven't decided yet. It could be either or. Either or. Either or. March of 69, moved to Germany. In 1972, moved to Texas for a few months, and then to Thailand, back to Texas for a few months, and he probably can't go back to Thailand again. Then to Alaska. Not much opportunity to watch American cartoons. These are all over the place. You can watch them anywhere. I used to watch Bugs Bunny cartoons overseas. They played them overseas, especially on armed forces stuff, so you can find them. Hiya Yankee. Because he didn't know who Gossamer was. Him and Welper, neither one knew who Gossamer was. Welper didn't know who Bumble was yesterday. So I'm almost to a point where I think we should maybe have Welper euthanized, because I don't think he wants to live like that. At least you won't be putting your Fruit of the Looms in everybody's face tonight. No, I got on shorts tonight. See, if I stand up, I got shorts on. So no long johns in everybody's face tonight. Let's see, where was that? Hey, 42R9T. Where's 42? What about Chewbacca gun grips? I thought about doing some Chewbacca ones. Yeah, I could say that's Chewbacca. Just give him a, bandolier and a bowcaster. Could be just Chewbacca's cousin, because that's what a lot of people think. Bigfoots are just crashed Wookiees, like a ship full of Wookiees crashed here decades ago, decades and decades ago. And Wookiees live to be really old. I mean, the average lifespan of a Wookiee is a lot, like 200 something years or something even longer. Let's see. Wookiee lifespan. Wookiee's lifespan is 400 years. It's over 400 years. They reach their prime around 200. They're adults at around 18, 20 years old, but then they live 400 years. So all the Bigfoot sightings we've had for, since from way back, from the 1500s forward and further back, could be from that one crashed ship of Wookiees. Let's say there's 20 of them. Well, they live underground. Maybe they built some underground, like maybe their ship, they cannibalize it, build some underground stuff, and people see them in a couple different locations. And maybe since then they've had children. Maybe they're on a third generation. Well, that'd be 1,200 years of sightings right there. So maybe it's Wookiees. I wouldn't discount that so quickly, because I knew Wookiees lived a long time. Godzilla should have other end over the congressional building as it is already full of shit. Well, no, he doesn't want to make it worse. He wants to make it better. Had Mini 14 issue was accuracy, it sucked compared to my Frankenstein 20-inch heavy barrel AR. Yeah, that's what I said. ARs will be more accurate than a Mini 14, but Mini 14s aren't like people say. People are like, you can't hit the bar outside the barn at 50 yards. Yeah, you can. You can ping 3-inch steel at 100 yards if you're a good shot, if you're a decent shot, but you're not going to be like, it's not as accurate as an AR-15 that's built for accuracy. And every one of these chats, some sore loser Kamala Harris supporter makes some beta bitch ass comment about what Trump is doing. I don't see that. I hope you're not referring to about the blowing up boats. If you're sucking Trump's dick to where you think he can do whatever he wants to do, well, that ain't good. And he's the fucking president. He should be held accountable for the stuff he does, stuff he says. The president shouldn't be doing things like calling people piggy and blowing up boats without any legal justification to do so. I don't care if you don't like the illegal drugs. I don't even care about illegal drugs. Whatever fucking adults put in their body, that's their own fucking business. And if it kills them, it kills them. The only reason that some people pretend to care is because it's costing insurance companies and the medical system, it's costing them some of their profits. So that's the only reason they even care. But yeah, I don't care. I don't care tomorrow if 2 out of every 10 adults decided I'm going to overdose on fentanyl today. That's their business. I don't give a fuck. I wish they wouldn't, but it's not my business. Not my business. Unfortunately, our president has stated in no uncertain terms that there will be military strikes against Venezuela soon. Yeah, he keeps saying that. I don't know what his justification will be. I fear that American lives will be lost. As a veteran, it bothers me. Yeah, I don't like the president just declaring war for no reason. And we definitely shouldn't be declaring any wars if we ain't been attacked. If they haven't committed an act of war against us, and I'm sorry, running drugs is not an act of war, or else we should have bombed Mexico into oblivion a long time ago. And even Rand Paul is like, yeah, no. So, yeah, if they actually follow through with that, if they let him do that, and the hawks that want to, that's purely them shilling for the oil companies that want Venezuelan oil. That's all that is. That is America playing super-powered tyrant and saying this country's got something we want, so we're taking it. That's not how America's supposed to operate. Let's see here. Where were we? I sent you an email about Brown Friday. Where's that? I didn't see that. I'm not seeing that. Oh, wait, there it is. Oh, that's gross. I'm not yuck. Plumbing stuff. Gross. I got another email here. Let's share that. George Powell says, I went to gun.com and asked for handguns in 40, and there were only 2. Yeah, that's 4. You know, you're showing us 4, right? Not 2. I mean, I guess these are both Charlie Arms pit bulls, but that would still be 3. Well, I guess this one's out of stock. These 2 are out of stock, so you're not counting them. But I know they are around. You can still get them. I think the FN still comes into 40, but yeah, you're not finding a bunch in 40 right now. They got rid of it. 40 has been killed off. It's just the ammo companies don't want to have to be that diversified. They want to consolidate. Same things with gun manufacturers. They want to consolidate. It's more profit in consolidation than there is in diversification. It's kind of like how, and I've said this before, people bitching about, the car companies want to make the cars to where you buy a subscription if you want these certain services. And I'm like, well, yeah, good. Because if you actually look at it, let's say you keep your car 10 years, and most people don't. If you, the subscriptions are based on how much would it cost you per month if you bought it as an option over the course of 10 years. And they price it at around that range, maybe a little higher. But when you add in what you would have paid for financing that into your car loan, you would pay more for it over the course of, I think it's 7.5 to 10 years. So you're actually getting it a little cheaper. It's not rolled into your car loan, so you don't got this big, gigantic car loan. And if you ever decided you couldn't afford it anymore, you can stop those features. But then they can build every car with every feature. They don't have to say, okay, this car gets A, B, C, but not D or E, but it does get F. They don't have to do that. They just build every car the same. And then after you buy the car, you decide, I want this, this, and this. And they do give you an option, even with those features, that you can buy like, the first 2 years up front or something like that. And then have that financed in if you want to. But otherwise, you can just sign up for subscriptions, and you're saving more on your car loan than you're paying for the subscriptions. Like if you want heated seats and navigation, you sign up for it. And you end up saving money in the long run, because most people ain't keeping their cars that long. And like if you want heated seats and stuff, well, you don't want them in the summer, just pay for them in the winter. So that's a better model, period. Plus, everyone that goes out and buys a car, like if you go out tomorrow and buy a Ford Mustang, if they did it the way they want to do it, and you go, fuck, I didn't get MagnaRide. I wish I'd gotten MagnaRide. Oh, wait, I can pay for it monthly and they'll activate it. Well, good, because I would rather have MagnaRide. It's just, that makes better sense. But people just, they just don't get it. And I forget what we were talking about now. That got me on that. What got me on that? I don't remember. Squatch grips for Taurus 10mm, please. We'll pay cash on swag side. I don't have any Taurus grips to put them in. You can't show that web page. What web page am I showing? I ain't showing a web page, am I? Oh, I showed his search. Well, that wasn't really a web page, but I probably shouldn't have showed it. I'll probably have to edit it in the video later. I'm surprised they ain't already giving me a strike. Let's see, where were we at? Someone's asked me why those grips are so shiny. Because I brushed them down with oil before I took a picture of them, just to get them clean, so there wasn't a bunch of specks on them and stuff. I hadn't done that on the others, and I had to edit out a lot of dust on them. These ones I wiped down with oil beforehand. I got all the dust off of them. Where am I? The guns.com web page with prices. You're going to censor. I'll have to censor it. An IT consultant was arrested by police in Britain because he posted a photo of himself posing with a gun in the U.S. He uploaded it to his LinkedIn profile. How can that be a crime, handling a gun in the United States? I guess maybe they thought maybe he had the gun there. But just having a gun in the United States, that's not a crime. He could have been at a range, or where you can rent them. I guess you can rent them as a tourist. So I don't understand how that could possibly be a crime. But it is Europe, so it's hard to tell. All right, let me get back over here. I think that was it for the chat. Yeah, that was it for the chat. So let's go see if we got any more donations through to Toy Guns for Tots. We'll read those right now. I got to sign back in. Oh, yes. Looks like we've had several. Or some really big ones. I just got an email just now as we're talking. The America Guns and Freedom podcast on 27 November 25. That'd be the one we're doing right now. After conducting a review of your video, we've determined that you have violated community standards. As a result, this video will still remain playable, but is not eligible for monetization. Yeah, well, I don't get monetized anyway, so it don't matter. So, and I just got that just now. Y'all heard it come in. But let me get back over here because I said there's been some donations or some big ones either way. Where was the last one? Paul Biden. Paul Garza did a good sized donation. What did he say? He just said toy guns for tots. So he didn't donate to the grip drawing. So I guess he don't want the grips. Some people. Tim Moeller did a nice donation here. And he got the grip giveaway. So let me add him to the list. Tim Mo. How's it spelled? Is it E-R-A-R? E-R. Tim Molar. 320. All right, now let's see who was next here after Tim Molar. Craig Prescott. Craig Prescott. He already won one set of grips. Is he trying to win another one? Nope, he just donated to Toy Guns for Tots. Joe Pearson. Joe Pearson chimed in. Did he chime in for the grips? Nope, just for the Toy Guns for Tots. So he's not even trying to get nothing. Well, he's trying to get a shotgun. He got to do it enough to get entry into a shotgun drawing. JL West just did a nice donation, and he just did Toy Guns for Tots. So he ain't trying to get nothing either but a shotgun because he didn't try for the grips. And Paul Shakarian, he also donated just to Toy Guns for Tots, but we got a lot of Toy Guns for Tots donations there in a row. I think I made people feel bad when I said only 1%. Of course, a lot of these people are people that already donated. So I don't know if we increased the percentage any, but we definitely increased the total. Because I know Paul Shakarian has donated, I think, before. I don't know if J.L. West has. This might be his first. I think Joe Pearson has donated a couple times. Craig Prescott, I know, has donated. Tim Moeller, I know, has donated. Paul Garza, I know, has donated. So, yeah, that doesn't really add to the percentage, but it adds to the total. All right, let's see where we're at over here. Oh, I forgot Gun Websites was here. If I'd have remembered that earlier, I'd have sent him a thing to get in, but I think we're about done. You people seem to like the chat better when he's here. I get thumbs ups and people resub it, people subbing. When it's just me or with me in the round table, people get mad and leave. But I forgot. But he said, I can't believe I watched this much of a show that is below standards. I saw he was in here earlier, and I didn't even think nothing of it to stop and say, hey, come in and help this not be a shit show. But he said, I can't believe I watched this much of a show that is below standards. Well, my shows are always below standards. I don't think they ever. Well, it depends on whose standards they are. My standards are obviously not very high. So these shows come right in at my standard. They're like par for the course. So, yeah. Excuse me. I also read the IT consultant story. Those British cops claimed that the man's photo was threatening to the general public. That's the UK for you. What was he doing that was threatening? Was he telling people, I'm going to come get you? Or was he say, hey, when I was in America, I shot a gun? That's not threatening. How could anyone feel threatened by that? Oh, this guy that lives here once shot a gun thousands of miles away, and a gun that he doesn't have now that he's over here. So how could anyone be threatened by that? Wouldn't it have to be a reasonable person would have to feel threatened? Not crazies? Is that what Europe has come to? That even if the crazy people feel threatened, it doesn't count? When's the next roundtable? Want to join? It'll be Saturday. What's tomorrow? That's tomorrow, Saturday. I'm glad someone said something. I would not remember tomorrow was Saturday. How come we gave away a grip last? Oh, because we did it on Sunday last week. We did it Saturday this week, so it's 6 days later. That's why we gave away a grip last week. Because I remember we gave away the Marvin grips during the last was it Marvin or was it no, it might have been the Bigfoot grips. Now we're giving away the Yosemite Sam grips for this chat tomorrow. So come into the chat tomorrow and win these Yosemite Sam grips. They're Beretta 92 grips with the Yosemite Sam on them here. In case you're wondering how they're made, I made a video on how they're made, but YouTube took it down, said it was inappropriate. But all I do is I engrave out. There we go. I engrave out the shape on a pair of grips, carve it out there. Got a little I need to do with this on this one by hand to get it to be perfect. And then I take the grips and I stick them, or I take the pin and I stick it down in there and I make sure it fits. This one doesn't fit perfect yet. And then I use JB Weld and put it in place. And we've got a pair of custom grips. So, ta-da! So, that's how I make them. It's easy to make. Well, it's not easy because you got to get everything lined up properly. You got to get the depth set properly. You got to make sure the grip is held properly. And everything is sized right. And it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but it ain't hard. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what. The British guy posted a photo of himself posing with a shotgun in Florida. The UK's Orwellian police force arrested him and he was locked up for a day. He's clearly a danger wanting to operate a weapon of death like that. Got to keep the crown safe. I still don't see how any reasonable person would be threatened. That'd be like if I saw a picture of a guy in Uganda with a pointy stick saying, I'm going to stab the Yankee Marshal. I wouldn't feel threatened because that wouldn't be real reasonable because he's in Uganda and he's just got a pointy stick. So you think you would have to have a reasonable fear or a reasonable feeling of threat, not just, I don't like guns. For people with them, because that's pretty lame, I would say. Pretty lame, I would say. Let's see if we got any more questions coming in. I don't see anything. I don't got any emails over here. I just got Iowa Joe just chimed in. Joe Pearson. What about doing a P226 with Molnir? I don't have grips for a P226. Well, I do today because someone sent them to me to do custom grip. The guy who won the Bigfoot J-frame grips, he wanted them done on a P226 grip instead. So he sent me the grip and I got it today, which I'm so scared to mess them up because those are like $120 grips. But I thought about putting, hold on. Let me see where the grip's at that I got. Here. I got these CZ grips that'll fit like a shadow. Now, I think they also fit like 75s or something. I think maybe because, it's kind of got the white and the blue like his costume has. And I'm thinking of putting, because they have a big swell up here that would allow me to put the hammer in the swell and have the leg sticking down. Something like that. You can see that. Because the hammer is very thick at the top, and then this part's very thin. So I got to have the hammer go somewhere. And as you can see, it's got that big swell right there. So I could put the hammer part there and the hammer coming down and the coming down below it. There, like that. That would work, I think. So I might do that. If I had some 226 ones, I'd put them in, but I don't got any 226 grips. I got some 238 grips, I think, or is it 938 grips? I have either of those, I think. LOL government reasonable. Come on, man. Well, I mean, that's super unreasonable. I mean, I understand unreasonable to a point, but that's super, super duper unreasonable. Chewbacca with the bowcaster. I know, but I'd have to get a pin. Let me see if they sell the pins, because I've got a place over on eBay that I go to for the pins usually. My eBay purchase history. Where's my purchase history? Right here. I buy these from K&M Distribution. They have like the biggest selection of pins. Let me see if they have a Chewbacca. Chewbacca. Well, they do have a Chewbacca pin, but let me show you the picture. It's actually kind of cute, but here's the Chewbacca pin. It's not exactly, it's like a baby version of Chewbacca. There's the Chewbacca pin they have. Right there. That's the only one they got. So not exactly a tough looking Chewbacca. Let me see if they got any on Amazon. Chewbacca pin. Let's see. Well, that one's a little better, but it doesn't have his bowcaster. That's just a face. But it's got more, what would you say, character to it? Oh, no, that one's kind of cool. I wish I could get just that. Because if you look at this picture, I would just want the Chewbacca. Well, actually, I would probably do something with all four of these, but these ones here. See, there's a Chewbacca and a Jawa and a C-3PO and an R2-D2. But the one I'd really want would be the Chewbacca one. But they come in a set of 4. There's a lady in. Did you get my $20 the other day? I'm probably sure. I read it. I bet you. Let's see. Did you get? We'll see if you got entries into the drawing. That would tell me right away that I got it. I don't think you got entries into the drawing. Let me look and see. Let me go over here, see if I can find any. Colin Gray. Yes, we got it. It was on the 25th. The 25th. Did you get entries into the grip drawing? Let's see. I would have put you in. No, you didn't. You just did Toy Guns for Tots. But I got that. All righty. So I can get back over to the chat. Let's see. We got anything coming in last minute before we're done here? There's a lady in the UK who referred to someone who assaulted her as, I don't know what that word would be, and was convicted of hate speech while the attacker was set free with no charges. I don't know if the attacker would. I don't know how much of that story I believe. Well, the stories are fucking made up. I don't know how much of that I believe. George Powell, any idea why I'm no longer allowed to post? You shouldn't be any reason why you're not allowed to post. Let me check your name over here. Where are you? I know you've said something tonight. Where is it? There we go. How do I find you in the? How do I find your actual? God damn it. Okay, here. Let me go over here. Go off of that. God damn. It gets on that and it will not get off of it. All right, George Powell. You're not in a timeout or anything like that. Here, I'll add you as a moderator. And then you definitely can't be. Oop. Yeah, but yeah, you're not banned or anything. Nobody's blocked you or nothing like that. So I don't know why it's doing that. Refresh your page. Disregard. I got logged out. Oh, I should have read further in before I said anything, shouldn't I? I should have read further. But yeah, I always check. Always when something ain't working right, reload first and see if that fixes it, because the way things work. Please disregard. I got logged out somehow. I'm in a state that doesn't exist, and I have a broken stick. Fear me. Exactly. Damn, now we can't ban George. I still can. You guys just can't. So as long as he don't piss me off, he should be all right. But he better not piss me off. Let's see here. Let me see what Star Wars pins they do have over here. They got a Walker. They got a little Darth Vader. They got an R2-D2, a C-3PO, a baby Yoda. That's it. They don't got a lot of Star Wars. The little Jawa is cute. I will say that. This little Jawa pin. Let's see. I'll show it here. This little Jawa pin is very cute. Look at that. Ain't that adorable? The little Jawa. He's got a gun. I always liked Jawas. Jawa. When I was a kid, I had multiple of the little Jawa. I had 3 of the little Jawa figures. Because kids have one Jawa. They travel packs. So you got to have more than one. And their little coats would even come off. The little overcoat. All right. I think that's got us all caught up tonight. Let me make sure we're all caught up on everything. Let me make sure I don't got any emails coming in that I have not answered. Refreshing my emails. Nope, everything looks like it's been answered over there. Let me see if we've answered everything over here. Are you using glue or epoxy to hold the pin in a grip? I'm using JB Weld to put them in there. So the chance of them coming out is pretty slim. Are you watching Stranger Things season 5? There's a character who looks like Piggy from Lord of the Flies. Now, I have not watched any of the Stranger season 3. Now, does that all come out at once, or do you have to wait weekly on that one? Because if it all comes out at once, I might start watching it this weekend. But if you got to wait, I'll wait till they're all out before I watch them. But, yeah, I don't know. But that's going to do it for us today. I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank everybody who participated, who got entries into the grip draw. Remember, you got till the end of the chat tomorrow to get entries in. Oh, we got another person donating here. Let's see if they got entries into the grip. It was, yes. Let me write him down over here. Hunter Barker. Sounds like what you would name a dog. Put him in there for he got his interest. So thanks to him also for donating tonight. But that catches us all up on everything. Remember, we only got a couple more days. Well, he did 2 donuts. Why did he do twice? Make sure you meant to do it twice. Unless you just wanted double entries, I guess. But I'll put it down as that right now, but let me know that you meant to do it twice, that you didn't do that by accident. But everybody, thanks for coming. Thanks for helping participate. Remember, we got a couple more days. We did really good today. We ended up doing really good. Like if we did this good every day, we might make the total last year. So thanks everyone for coming. I appreciate it. I will see you all again tomorrow. Stranger Things has spanned 10 years. Yeah, those kids have grown up. I've liked it from the beginning. I mean, it's had its highs and its lows, but I've enjoyed it. I haven't ever watched a season and went, that sucked. Maybe season 2 wasn't the greatest, but It was all right. And the one where they went off on the, like the other people with powers and stuff, which I think they got a new one this year with powers, I hear. But make a t-shirt that says "This raffle's for you." What do you mean this raffle's for you? I think I need a little more explaining on that. But thanks everybody for coming. Like I said, thanks everybody for donating to the programs. Remember, we got a couple more days. If you want entries into the grips, please get that as soon as possible. We'll be giving them away tomorrow. And as of right now, till the end of the fundraiser, any merchandise you buy over on my website, the profits will go to Toy Guns for Tots. Now, if you want an entry into the drawing, you still got to buy from the Toy Guns for Tots store, but all profits will go to Toy Guns for Tots. So go on over and buy yourself something pretty. And if you want the gifts for like the Christmas gifts, you better get them now because they go away on the 30th. So, or usually they go away on the 1st. But like I said, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. I'll see y'all again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe. Till I'll see you again. Please hit that like button and share this video on whatever social media you have. Since this is a restricted channel, you're the only chance we have to overcome YouTube's anti-2A bias and discrimination.